Yo, Goku legit gave her his pants leg. Now that's a true homie right there.
Prepare yourself, Dan Saiyan.
Smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you never miss a video. Really quickly, I'm very happy today because we are about to reach the 7K mortal plan on my second channel, Sunscape. If you have not seen that channel yet, I'm going to have a link to it in the description below and the top comment. Go ahead, check it out, be part of the Sunscape squad because that channel is growing and it's just a place for me to talk about other stuff that is not Dragon Ball. So if you're interested in anything else, video games, DC, Marvel, pop culture shit, go ahead, subscribe to Sunscape. And as always, if you have not caught up to this Dragon Ball fan manga, the playlist is going to be in the description below along with the creator's Twitter account. Make sure you go ahead and support the creator, Kaleverse. At the ending of the last arc of Goku X Kale, Kale finally gives up the Omni King button, the Zeno button, voluntarily so it can go back to him and the whole conflict seems to be over. This chapter, this arc continues that story, and it is the aftermath of that battle on that living moon. We begin a dream sequence. This is technically the dreamscape. Kale is dreaming about what happened in the last arc, but first she looks back at the Tournament of Power, at how chaotic it was, how awful it was. I guess we never really stopped to think exactly what the mental state of the warriors that were fighting in the Tournament of Power actually was. I mean, if they weren't true blue fighters, they weren't like craving the hunt, the kill like Goku, Vegeta, and the Saiyans, even Frieza, then this place could have been very, very scary, and the nerves and anxiety would be through the roof because you are fighting for not only your life, but the lives of your friends and family back home. So it makes sense that this would be a very traumatic experience, and if Kale is the one that blames Goku for it, then it makes sense why their conflict started in the last chapter to begin with. And she even thinks back at her emotions as to when she transforms into the Berserker state. She thinks about what she's going through, what her head is going through, and how everything happened so fast. And here we get a clip of Goku telling her that she needs to control her emotions. That's the first step. Remember, Goku is her master in this Dragon Ball fan manga. But as the dream continues, it gets a little bit more saucy because as we see here, we have Kale taking a bath in what looks to be an oasis of some kind. Very beautiful, and there is even a Dragon Ball there that isn't the Dragon Ball that we know, but I think it's just there for added effect. Goku glances at her where she doesn't even notice him at first, and then steps forward to say hi, continuing with, "Don't think for a moment I've forgotten about what you did on the moon." And she's nervous, scared, I don't know. I think this is kind of one of those dreams that, you know, you really don't want to wake up from, and she's thinking about Goku in this way, and this is feeding into her infatuation with the strongest Saiyan from Universe 7. As he wades into the pool himself, he hands her over the Dragon Ball. And that's when Kale wakes up out of her bed. It looks like she made it back to Beerus's planet, and she's thinking about how everything happened, how she was being so bold, you know, to do the things she did in the last chapter, and how she thought that Goku would straight up take the device from her. I mean, he was strong enough to do that, but he didn't. He let her hand it over and it went back to the Omni King. Like, he didn't want it. He's not power hungry, which is weird. She thought that he was, and she's thinking that he's really strange and really silly. And that's when the door opens up and Caulifla comes bursting in there, asking Kale to spill the beans. What did Goku say? What did he do to you? What were you thinking? Tell me everything. It looks like they haven't gotten a chance to catch up, and then Kale thinks back as to what exactly happened at the end of the last arc. And she thinks back and remembers that Goku was there asking if she was okay. She is back in her normal state, not in berserk or anything like that. And Kale's just standing there. They're both still on the living moon. And she's conflicted because Goku actually scares her, but he's like so nice. So how can he be both? Because Goku is really, really nice, really, really gentle, but he's also a straight up monster when it comes in terms of power and abilities. And that's when Goku rips up his pants and covers up Kale to make her decent, which is something that Goku would honestly do. Very, very nice, very, very considerate, and not creepy in any way. And this is interesting. Kale's thinking about Goku and the consequences of what he unleashed when it comes to the Tournament of Power. Now, if the universes were all erased, there'd be no sort of thinking about it, but now that everyone's back to normal, there are consequences for Kale in Universe 6. So this is when we start getting into some heavy lore for Kale, and it's something that we've seen before in another Dragon Ball fan manga by J Hearts, where Kale is actually royalty. She is from a royal bloodline from the first queen of planet Sadala, who was in fact a Super Saiyan. Apparently, the royals have known about the Saiyans turning into Super Saiyans for quite some time, but have held that information to themselves. And the reason for that is because they don't see any advantage in the Super Saiyan transformation, because all they know of it is that if you become too powerful, then you will explode and die, and that's exactly what happened to the Queen Gardain of this planet Sadala Saiyans. Now that Universe 6 knows about the Super Saiyan legend, everybody knows because they were watching the tournament, they saw everything that was going on. New laws have been passed to arrest and subjugate or execute anyone who transforms into a Saiyan on planet Sadala, because if they go to Berserk, they could kill a lot of people. They could kill a lot of Saiyans, or they could explode and kill a lot of Saiyans in a major city. So it is dangerous to become a Super Saiyan. Of course, if they only think of Super Saiyan as a Berserker, which is what Queen Gardain was, which is the ancestor of Kale, then yeah, I would see why they would think that this is a dangerous form that could actually kill a lot of people, innocent people. So when Kale, Kaba, and Caulifla, who are the only Saiyans that can turn to Super Saiyans, go back to planet Sadala, they could be tried, they could be arrested, and they could possibly be executed because they can turn into Super Saiyans and not be trusted. And that's what Kale is thinking about as Goku flies her back to Beerus's planet and puts her back into her room. And Kale, looking down at Goku, says, but at the same time, maybe I don't want to go back. So she's having second thoughts of even going back to Universe 6, and maybe wants to stick around so she can hang out with Goku a little bit more. I mean, in this manga, she is Goku's protege. She is Goku's student, so it makes sense for her to hang out with Goku as often as possible. Goku leaves Kale because he's got to go apologize to Beerus for all the commotion and everything that happened, but Goku isn't holding any ill will against Kale for taking the button, for stealing, anything like that. He doesn't really care about that stuff, and that's something that Kale really admires about Goku. And it makes sense, honestly. This ship makes more sense than Goku x Caulifla, even though I like to see that too. But Goku x Kale makes sense because Kale is so into Caulifla. Caulifla is kind of like a female Goku, so that all really fits into place. And so after that, everything goes back to normal, and we see here that there was no repercussions for Kale, Goku, or anybody for what happened. And you see the sunrise on Beerus's planet, and this tree that in pictures, especially in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, you see this tree with a lot of houses and stuff on it, and I always wondered who actually lived there, but it probably is empty, and right now the only people that are living there are, you know, Goku, Vegeta, Kaba, Kale, and Caulifla, because they're all training there. And so when Kale wakes up that morning, she hears a loud clash happening outside her window. She wakes to feel Goku's energy coming from outside, and she's not surprised that he's training because, you know, Goku never seems to stop. She walks by Caulifla, noticing that she's still asleep, looks out the window and sees that Goku is in Super Saiyan God training against Whis. And Kale wonders if he will ever be satisfied with the power that he's earned, and that is the end of today's chapter. In the next chapter, we get into Super Saiyan God Goku versus Whis and see exactly how Kale fits into the entire scenario and this battle. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you made it to this point of the video, you are now part of the hashtag End of Video Squad. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Make sure to drop that comment with that hashtag for a chance to be featured in my next video. Today, I'm going to be responding to Jay the Real McCoy. Love him or hate him, but when someone he truly cares about, friend, family, or other is in trouble, Goku will always step up and do what he has to help them. Yes, Goku, despite all his faults, he will always have your back, and that's something that is true throughout Dragon Ball, Z, GT, Heroes, Super, you know, the manga, all of that. Thank you so much for your comment. This is going to be Blackscape signing off. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.